Generally, when you enter a mission, you get a little pop-up that gives you a bit of flavor text. It's quite important because a lot of the maps are very similar, so without the flavor text you often wouldn't know what's going on. Here is a clockwork. We're going to talk to the clockwork. Right, this clockwork is here to tell us about glowies. In City of Heroes you've got two basic ways of interacting with objects, which is you can either hit them or you can click on them. We're just going to click the glowy, and what we get here are some inspirations, which are temporary buffs, a bit like potions in other games. They drop very often, so you don't really have to save them. Okay, now what we can do is you often get a lot of, one of the other things about going rogue is you get choices in the missions. Not that many, but enough to make it a bit different from the standard game. In this case, I can either leave, go inside and meet the resistance, or before I do that I can tell the clockwork that everything is safe upstairs and it'll go. Since I've decided my character is working for the loyalists at the moment, he's going to tell the clockwork to go upstairs, so off we go. So we say that, it does some orders, and off it goes, running away to its doom. Sometimes you get doors you have to attack, so let's do that. Set our demon on it. My own attack's a bit crap. Pardon the language. Okay, these are the guys with guns are resistance, the guys with the collars are ghouls. You notice I'm not getting any experience hits because it's a tutorial and all the experience is given to you at the end. In normal gameplay you'd be getting experience for every defeat. There, see, the knockback actually worked at that time, which is nice. I was starting to think it was totally useless. Normally you'd want to use that to to push enemies into a wall so they can't, so they're nice and gathered up for AoE attacks. Right, that looks like the last of the ghouls. So we're just going to go and talk to this NPC up here. We've got some civilians saying the resistance are nice. Right, we're going to talk to the NPC. We can ask him a bit about the ghouls. We can ask him a bit about the resistance. And you notice that badge earned flash. When in City of Heroes you get lots of badges that are used to give yourself custom titles. You get them for defeating monsters, visiting places, completing quests, generally just playing the game. Anyway, now we're pushing on through the tunnels to find the NPC we're looking for. We've got a bunch of dead PPD and resistance here, and we've got a mysterious voice telling us to come and, that maybe we could join the PPD instead. Sorry, that maybe we could join the resistance instead. We're actually currently a part of the PPD. Oh, here's a cop. This guy's got a yellow box around him. This means he's going to be friendly until I attack him. So I could just run past him and nothing's going to happen. But if I set my demon on him, if I attack him, the demon then attacks and he fights back. Still many bodies. Now here we have a cutscene. Right. It's every so often in going rogue, generally at the end of a big arc, you get one of these loyalty choices where you get to choose whether you go in the resistance or whether you go to being a loyalist. We started as a loyalist, so I didn't like. I don't know. Let's just flip a coin here. Let's join the resistance. I don't like anybody's uniforms. Stupid reason, but hey. So now what will happen is, because I chose to join the resistance, if I choose to join the loyalists later on, I can occasionally phone up the resistance boss and he'll ask me to sabotage missions or do something differently in them. Also, when you're a member of one faction, you can still do half the missions of the other faction. Each faction has 2 sub-factions in it. Generally, the semi-good guys and the selfish jerks, or real bad guys in the case of one of the resistance factions. So you can always do the not-so-bad missions of the faction you're not. So as my guy is now a resistance member, he can do both branches of the resistance story and what's called the responsibility branch of the loyalist story. And when he's doing those, he'll have the option occasionally to betray the loyalists to the resistance. Anyway, let's go and talk to this NPC and probably finish the tutorial. There we are. We now go and get told to go and speak to another NPC. But before we do that, you'll notice the clues gained flashes that have popped up on the screen. Stories in this are explained through the use of clues, which pop up there. These are the ones we got, and they just tell us what we're doing, why we're here, anything interesting we found. Anyway, now we're going to go and talk to Calvin Scott, who's the Resistance head honcho. Jog, jog, jog. Right, we can ask him why the important guy is here. He tells us it's because we're part of PPD, so he likes to meet us personally. We're ready to get working. And we've just leveled up, so here we are. Get a badge, we've got a level. So we exit here. Lots of loading screens. This is fast loading as well. There's this flash telling us to go and level. Flash saying how to get help from other players. We're just putting it on none. And a flash about the day jobs, which are things that build up when you're logged off and give you temporary powers and badges and accolades. Anyway, here's the trainer. She's called Praetor Duncan, aka Dominatrix. Look at the whip. She's the Praetorian equivalent of a hero called Ms. Liberty, who's also the newbie trainer. So we'll just speak to her. We get to pick a new power. We can either pick a actual attack, or we can pick a heal. We're going to pick an actual attack, so I'm not totally defenseless when the demon's busy. And now let's just go and find something to use my attack on so I can show it to you. What we do next in the game after this is go and speak to the next NPC. Everybody does the same arc from levels 1 to 5, and then you start doing your faction arcs, whatever they are. Obviously you're going to have to run a little bit further than I expected to find a target. Oh, here's some, the Protester. I'm not going to get a lot of experience for this guy because, you know, level 2 minion. So we can start with using Gale on them. There we are, big flaming whip thing. Chat bubble. As you can see here, I'm actually getting XP. The blue bit in my XP bar is rested XP. And when you've got blue stuff in your bar, you get 50% more XP from things. Anyway, we've got some XP, we've defeated some mobs, we've got some new powers. I think it's time to call it quits with the tutorial. Hope you've enjoyed this broadcast.